Now, it's happened before, stuffing the ballot box, voting twice. We've all heard the stories, but technology and poll watchers now prevent a lot of cheating at local level.
With 4 years between presidential elections and often 8 years between major party runs, it is easy to forget that winning the election has really nothing to do with the popular vote. It's the Electoral College, established in the Constitution, that has the final say. WCBI's Jory Talley is in the studio with a civics lesson for us. Jory?
Andre and Joey, it's a process that has stood the test of democracy. Presidential historian Brother Rogers walks us through what happens with your vote and why it's practically impossible to rig an election.
There is no federal government in charge of the elections. 50 states are in charge. And within those 50 states, there are cities that run their elections in a different way within those states. And then within all of those cities and small towns, there are thousands upon thousands of polling places that makes it virtually impossible to coordinate some kind of mischief.
In fact, the Electoral College determines who the next president will be. The magic number of vote for the winning presidential candidate is 270.
The best way to think about the presidential election is not one election, but 50 separate elections. That's because we have the Electoral College, and each state casts its Electoral College votes for president, and it's based on populations.
Mississippi gets 6 electoral votes, and those votes are based off of the majority of votes in the state. How do we get to that number? The number of electors equals the number of members in Mississippi's congressional delegation, one for each member in the House of Representatives, plus the 2 senators.
People who think that it might be rigged think maybe Hillary Clinton is rigging it. Many battleground states like Florida and Ohio have Republican governors and Republican election officials who are certainly not going to rig the election for Hillary Clinton.
Rogers believes the rigging theory pops up because the Electoral College can be a bit confusing, and some people don't trust the government.
Every 4 years there are moves to eliminate the Electoral College. But if you look back to the year 2000, when Florida was such a pivotal state in the election of George W. Bush, think about if we had to examine all 50 states instead of just examining Florida. That would not have been good. So that's one reason we keep the Electoral College.
I also found out that voter fraud by impersonation or voter fraud by illegal voting is very rare in the U.S. Andrea?